Marley, it's a Sunday no huddle from State College on location, and I'm still trying to process what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, how do you process the longest game in college football history that is won by Illinois at number 7 Penn State to take them out of the playoff picture? You know, they're looking ahead to Ohio State next week, thinking knock off Ohio State, and we put ourselves in the driver's seat to be one of the 4 teams in the playoff. And then they lose at home to Illinois in 9 overtimes. What just happened?
That's seriously, I'm here on the field. I'm going, what am I seeing right now?
Yes.
9 overtimes.
And the interesting thing is that, it's not that you could sense it. You know, you expect Illinois to finally succumb after, maybe a good start, but something's going to happen. But, the other thing is, what was it, -3 in turnovers? Illinois went on the road, were -3 in turnovers, which the statistics say just when you're -3, I think you lose 86% of all games. Any team -3 or worse is only winning 14% of the game, and Illinois won that kind of game on the road at number 7 Penn State when they're 2-5. It's hard to comprehend.
Bielema didn't necessarily want to commit to this is the program-changing moment, Robert, but we're talking here, and this is the program-changing moment, right? It has to be to take a step forward if you're going to be a successful program, is getting one of these marquee wins, not at home, but on the road.
Getting a marquee win on the road and doing it with your style of football, basically determining how the game was going to be played. Illinois came out and said, okay, we can go jumbo. We can, he mentioned, in the press conference, Bret called it the barge package. They come out with 7 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends, a quarterback and a running back. And they line up and, suddenly the pictures are everywhere on Twitter with national media members saying, Bret Bielema's finally showed up, and, he would put 13 offensive linemen on the field if he could. And what do? They start grinding out rushing yard after rushing yard. They have 2 100-yard rushers. They control the pace of the game. They control how the game was going to be played. They turned over 3 times and still win.
How is that even possible in a sense? Because, like you mentioned, the stats show that Illinois should not have won this game. I felt like they did get several fortuitous breaks along the way, but that's what you have to get in a game like this and a moment like this. So how will you remember this game next week, a month, a year from now? And what are those key moments that you will pin back to that this is why they won the game?
Honestly, the way I will remember this game is Illinois putting the go-ahead touchdown on the board twice and having it taken off, and then Illinois winning that game. How many stories have we told the last 30 years of, so then Illinois scored the go-ahead touchdown, but there was holding. Look at the Iowa game in 2007. They struggled the whole game. They should have won, and then they do. An 83-yard touchdown. Finally, they broke through. They won. Oh, wait, there's a flag, illegal formation. Illinois loses. So to have a game like that where the score of 14-10 comes off the scoreboard twice with back-to-back penalties, and then they don't get the touchdown, can only kick a field goal, and it goes to overtime. For Illinois to win that game, that kind of establishes a new pattern for Illinois from what's happened in the past.
And there was so many injuries, Robert, as well. Chase Brown went down. You had Valerian Lowe go down. You had your starting quarterback, Artur Sikowski, go down. It's like I'm still trying to comprehend, this is so Illinois of them, they would have lost this game in overtime, right? And I feel like they're rewriting that narrative. At least they did today. It doesn't mean it's going to be that way in the future, but they did today.
And perhaps the biggest backup that came in was Valerian Lowe goes down with an ankle or some foot kind of injury or something. They've already switched Julian Pearl and Alex Palczewski at right tackle and right guard, so they don't really have another tackle. So they move Alex Pihlstrom, who just said to us just a little bit ago, only started practicing at tackle this week. So just think about that. He's got to play left tackle against a guy who's going to be an NFL draft pick in this stadium against the number 7 team, and he goes out and performs, and they continue to run the ball, and here we are, talking about an Illinois victory. It's amazing.
So what's that next step now for Illinois to build off of this? We don't know about the injuries, and that's going to be big, especially with Chase Brown. But how do they take that next step and parlay this into something more?
Yeah, I think it has to be that what they established today, what the narrative is going to be from this game nationally is, okay, Illinois kind of bullied Penn State. They went in and kind of took it to them on the road, and they had them on their heels, and they're running quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2, and like this is different. What's happening here? Why is Illinois getting the push? And that's the kind of football that Bret Bielema ran at Wisconsin and what he was trying to establish at Arkansas. And so you have to think that this kind of establishes, look, we're going to play bully ball, and we're going to run the ball, and we're going to dominate the time of possession, and we're going to dictate the pace of the game, and we're going to put in those victories. So this is what he now sells to recruits, and what he sells to offensive line recruits and running backs and everything else, or even defenders. We haven't even talked about the defense. That he says this is the kind of football we can play and win, and we can go beat number 7 on the road doing it.
Were you surprised that they threw the ball as much in overtime as they did?
Yes.
Especially the 2-point conversions. That's
yes.
what really surprised me.
Yes, and then, once they did run it, the difficulty of running from the 3 is that the safeties and the corners are all bunched in.
Yep.
There's just less field.
You got 11 in the box, essentially.
Right. Yes, exactly. And when you have 11 in the box, that's why both teams were trying to throw it. You'll run it from the 2 or the 1 kind of thing if you're there. From the 3, it's really difficult to get those 3 yards on the ground unless you're spread out and you find a gap in a seam. I thought it was very interesting that Bret Bielema pointed out the Isaiah Williams touchdown in, what was it, 6th, 7th?
Yeah, we lose
8th
track.
overtime.
I think everybody lost track of that.
Like as he said, smallest guy on the field. They run this little running play. I guess technically it's a pass play, but they run this little, in motion for him. Penn State has it covered, and game's going to be over, and he finds a way to stretch out and get the ball across the goal line, and then you go to another overtime, and they win it in the 9th. In the 9th, sounds like we're talking about a baseball game.
I know, right?
Yes.
All right, as we talk about the defense here, the defense is the reason they won the game, in my eyes. Just time and time again, they stepped up, and they were able to put Illinois in a position to finally get a win in another game where Illinois keeps its opponent under 20. That seems to be the right mix of number when the offense shows up.
It's really interesting how they've won it. Jake Hansen announces this week he's out for the year, and that's it for his Illinois career. They lost Calvin Hart the very first game for the season. So technically, these are 2 backup linebackers in Tolson and Barnes, and they dominated the game. Like, they made the plays. I mean, even that bat down in the end zone was another key play that they made to finish this off and win the game. And so it's really interesting how many underclassmen are playing on defense. If you look at this defense, it's really led by the junior class right now, from Tolson to Kirby Joseph to Sidney Brown to other guys who have stepped up, Devin Witherspoon, other guys who have really stepped up and are going to be around for a while, and you have a core of a defense you can start to build around.
All right, we can take a breath.
I think so. I don't know what you're
There's
supposed
no
to do.
more overtime.
I don't know what happens next.
At least that's what we hope for.
Yes.
All right, Robert, thank you. Sunday No Huddle here from State College. Marley, we'll send it back to you.